Let's talk about the four drivers who didn't advance, DJ. We'll start with the pole sitter at Martinsville was Martin Truex Jr. Ran well the first couple of stages, most of the first couple of stages, I should say. Midway through stage 2, he has a speeding penalty, and that pretty much kills his day because track position was so crucial as it's been with the next gen on short tracks. So Zach Tanzaretti got some quotes from Truex about that speeding penalty. I just want to read this to you. Truex said that was the first time we've ever had that first pit stall at Martinsville. They told me to look for 4 red lights on the dashboard, and I'd be safe leaving the box because pit road speed is time over distance. If you're in that first box, and technically you should be able to just stomp on it after you have a pit stop and be safe. But Truex said that he went to 2 red lights and got caught speeding. So it was, as Truex said, it was a little confusing there. I felt like I went by that info. We were way over. We've got to look at that. If we ever get that pit stall again, we will know better. It was definitely surprising. And then Truex said, that one is on me. I find, Jay, because is it on him? Because I feel like this is somewhat of a reprise of what we've been talking about, what you have said about this team, what others have said, that it feels like another example of the 19 team just not being buttoned up well enough to keep the driver in the race. Yes, Truex commits the speeding penalty, but if he's not given the right information, to me, that's as much on the team, which is, again, what we've been talking about ad nauseum through the playoffs with Martin Truex Jr.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. That was just, as to watch that yesterday, and I'm not sure that he had the car to beat Ryan Blaney anyway. But we'll never know that because once again, through the 9 races, that was not what we expected to see from this championship driver. And for the most part of it, I still go back and say that you can't put much of this on Martin Truex Jr., just like yesterday, as you're talking about the wrong information that he's given. You only go off of what they tell you. And, I know that technology and new technology is a wonderful thing until it's not. And then you find yourself in trouble. And, they couldn't recover from that. But, it was just another of the races that in this championship round that he just this team just didn't perform. And, I don't know if it's the leadership. I think there's a lot of great things about James Small that make us appreciate who he is and what he does and give them good cars. And they won the regular season championship. So obviously knows what to do. But this was from a performance level, from a high level race team. This was as bad as we've seen in the playoffs, in my opinion, from someone that probably went in as the favorite with the way that they were performing. And to say underperformed, that would be, an understatement at this particular time. You hate to see it, but yesterday they just could. It was great that they went there. They won the pole. It gave you hope that, okay, can they have one race out of 9 that they can get through here? And that's all that it took because of their regular season. I won't call it dominance, but great performance that they had to build up the playoff points that kept getting them through each round. And here they were in the last race. Knowing that basically they needed a win to get it done. They go win the pole. They have a fast car, and they find a way to mess that up. So I hate it for Martin. Especially after announcing he was coming back for another year, he might be rethinking that after these 9 races. But we'll look forward to him to have the off season, go do some fishing and hunting, everything that he loves to do away from the track, and he'll be reset and ready whenever the Clash starts in early February. But it was just hard to watch this. But I think they have some real searching and soul searching to do to decide what they're going to do to be better when next year comes around.
But I'm sure you're right. He and James Small and the team will put in the work in the offseason, returned, renewed, and refreshed, as will Martin Truex Jr.'s Joe Gibbs Racing teammate, Denny Hamlin, who comes up 8 points short of advancing to the championship 4 after a 3rd place finish. DJ, I thought Denny did a really gracious interview with Parker Kligerman, and it almost sounded like Denny has already kind of made peace with the fact that he's the winningest driver in Cup history without a championship. He's a surefire Hall of Famer. But it almost seems like he's kind of reached the point where if it doesn't happen for him, he's going to be okay in some ways with not getting that title. And, maybe it's that on the side now, he's got this burgeoning 23-11 race team with 2 drivers who could win championships. Tyler Reddick just made it to the round of 8 yesterday and didn't quite get there. Bubba Wallace certainly showed speed throughout the playoffs. What's your take on where Denny kind of is in terms of his career and where things stand for him?
Yeah, and this we can't just say yesterday that they didn't get it done. They brought a fast race car. They put themselves in position once again. There simply was one car better. I know Denny finished third, but Blaney was the only better car there yesterday than Denny Hamlin was. So they did everything that they kind of needed to do. Their whole round of 8 went awry, last week at Homestead with what they said was a power steering issue. And that was just very unfortunate because he had himself in a position there to win, or if not win, he was going to run in the top 3 and gather the points that he needed to be in a much better position. And if that doesn't happen, then we're talking about something totally different. It's not William Byron that's getting through on points. It would have been Denny Hamlin. So, but these are things that do happen. I hate it for Denny because I know, how much it would mean to Denny. And we've talked for a lot of years about, the seasons that he's had, put himself in position, and he just constantly does this, puts himself right in position. I did really feel like that he came into the playoffs this year with the most speed and the most momentum. And, that first round, he started out just incredibly fast and just never quite carried that on through the next couple of rounds, but it was good enough. And it looked like this round of 8 that they kind of found things once again. So I still hope, there's still hope in me that Denny Hamlin wins a championship. I appreciate the driver that he is, the person that he is, willing to speak his mind, and his record, his wins, the big wins that he has, those all are Hall of Fame credentials that are just so impressive. And now he has this, he had the idea to build this race team with Michael Jordan. They put it together. You see great things happening with that. And I know that he talks that, he might have to live through that. And this championship that he wants so desperately might come through that in time. But I know that he's not going to give up on this. I knew yesterday had to be a very disappointing day at the end of it for him. And it's hard to put your thoughts all together there. But I know deep inside that there's Denny Hamlin. Don't read into that he's not thinking that he can't go back next year. But as you get older, you realize that your opportunities are slipping by. And so I'm sure that we'll see him battling for that once again. But again, he had a great race, and just appreciate who he is. And you don't want. He's going to leave a mark on the sport in a lot of ways, and they're all very, very positive ways. You just don't want that moniker that he's the winningest driver to not win a championship. And, but Martin went through that. And I don't think any of us that raced with and against Martin and know who he is, and much like Denny, you don't hold that against them, that they never were able to get that title, especially Denny to this point. When I think about Martin, I still think of one of the greatest race drivers in the history of NASCAR that I had the opportunity to watch and then to eventually race with and against through a lot of years. So, this, again, unfortunate for Denny, but, he has built his legacy in this sport.
Well, you, I think, have unique insight on this, DJ. You have unique insight in that age comes with perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And next month, Denny Hamlin turns 43. You were a few weeks shy of 43 when you won your championship in 1999, and that came on the heels of 2 dominant seasons by Jeff Gordon, where he won the championship, where your team was right there and maybe would win the title in any other year. Going back to like where you were 25 years ago and where Denny Hamlin is now going into the offseason, looking ahead to 2024, can you kind of think about like how he might kind of reset his mind, how he might look at things now at his age and where he is in life, his career, and where you were then, and maybe how that all relates?
Yeah, I think I can relate. And as I was watching yesterday, I was thinking about those very things that I realized that, not as many drivers are, driving into their, getting close to mid 40s and having as much success. It's such a great group of talent, in their younger years. And I think that, that's having a lot to do with it because we have so many more that are competitive in that situation. So for Denny, it's making it more difficult to achieve that. But you're right. I wasn't sure that I was going to get there. We came close through, especially 96, 97, and 98. I mean, we had outstanding years, and I thought, wow, we're just doing everything that we can do. 97, I won the most races that I won in any year of my career, winning 7 races, one of them being right here in Phoenix. And, it's just incredible to think that, gosh, we do this and we can't win because of this guy named Jeff Gordon. That's obviously one of the greatest drivers to ever come along. And, but I think that at the end of 98, I had some health issues during that. And so I got through that. And once I got through that, I was like, okay, we can still go do this. We have built the foundation here. And that's what Denny has done. He has built that foundation. He knows what he has to do and get it done. He will be a part of the championship and in the playoffs next year. And it may pop up that, maybe it's not the best regular season that he'll have, but I'll guarantee you that we'll see his name through the first couple of rounds with an opportunity to go into the round of 8.
Hi, I'm Parker Kligerman. For more access like this from Pit Road, be sure to click and subscribe to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube channel.